So as you might have seen by the title, the 19th of November marks the start of National Maintenance Week. And us here on the Damp Show thought that it might be a good idea to just go through some tips which you, the public, can sort out yourselves by maintaining your own properties. Winter weather has a habit of turning small issues into significant problems. For example, a blocked gully can soon lead to flood damage if heavy rain falls, while exposed timbers can start to rot and degrade without some form of protection. Our advice is to take the time now to ensure issues don't escalate into costly repairs, and should a problem occur, to seek out a professional contractor such as a PCA member to ensure the works are carried out correctly. The PCA's 10 top tips to protect a home in winter include: number 1, think about ventilation. Winter sees air becoming more laden with water, meaning that issues such as condensation and even damp and mould can take hold. Ventilation fans and air management systems are at the front line of tackling this. So make sure services and repairs are up to date and the correct equipment specified for your property's needs. I'll try and go into a bit more detail. So, as standard, your property should have an extractor fan in your kitchen and in your bathroom, and they just should be standard. So all properties should have these. Number 2, keeping woodwork protected. Exposed timbers can start to decay without some form of protective finish. So make sure wood outdoors has a barrier to protect against water and frost. So just check if you've got fascias, any timber doors or windows, just make sure that they've got that they're rubbed down and painted with whatever you're going to paint them with, paint or some kind of protective stuff like that. Else it could, water and ingress can make them just a bit worse. Number 3, chimneys. These can provide an entry point for damage at the point where lead flashings meet at the joint with the chimney stack. If not sealed tight, water will stream into a property. So majority of the time, you've got if it's a roof, you've got your chimney stack, then you've got your roof space, attic. So if you've got any holes in your flashing, then water will drip down into your roof space. A lot of time, if you've had your insulation topped up, it's not gonna come through insulation straight away and onto your ceilings. What tends to happen is, if it's a prolonged period, so if you've got water running in, if it's been raining for for a couple of weeks, and you've got water running in and running in, that insulation will get wet through, and it can soak through, and then you'll see it on a ceiling underneath. You'll see a watermark. Roofs, number 4. Any cracked or slipped tiles provide easy route for water to enter the home. A lot were built without any roofing felt, so slates were straight onto lats, onto joists, and there's still a lot of properties that are like that, still like that. And again, they've got good points and they've got bad points. These types of property, one, they're well ventilated, so if you have got a leak and water does come in, again, if it's not a lot of water that's running in over like 2 weeks or whatever, what tends to happen is when weather conditions change, the wind will blow and that water will evaporate. But if your insulation's not adequate, if it's only thin insulation, or if you've not even got any insulation, you're going to see these stains on roofs straight away, on your ceilings underneath straight away. And timbers, when they get wet, obviously they're at risk as well. So maybe look at having a new roof on National Maintenance Week. Just make sure that these tiles are not slipped. So get a roofer up there, he can check that. So the resulting damage can be exasperated. It says it's exasperated, isn't it? Yeah, exasperated. Just don't look right. Number 5, gutters and downpipes. Now this is an issue close to my heart, but I'll just read it first. Gutters provide a way for water to drain away quickly. Even a small blockage can cause problems, as well as ensuring drains are free from moss, leaves and debris. It's a good idea to check the entire system, including the downpipes, are properly connected with no faulty joint issues. So if you want to just nip outside and have a look at your downpipes, have a look for like a furry moss around joints. It's like a dark colour or a green colour. If you've got that on any of your joints, that means that they've more than likely been leaking at some stage. Number 6, pointing and rendering. If damaged, loose or eroded, this can provide a route for water to enter a building, particularly when we have driving rain. Pay particular attention to the weather, prevailing sides of a property. I get driving rain. I think this is if you've got like sort of holes or cracks on an external. So a lot of time, if you've got what's the word I'm looking for? If you've got any subsidence cracks or wide cracks, then driving rain can get in there. If there's any pointing missing, driving rain can get in there, potentially get through to the inner skin. If you've got a cavity and your cavity is not bridged, then there's less chance of it getting across. Wall ties are built so they've got like a dip in them, so if any water gets onto wall tie, it'll drip down into the bottom of the cavity and then evaporate. Number 7, windows and doorway openings. Window and doorway openings. Yeah. The warm summer months we saw this year could have caused the weather sealing between the frames and masonry in some homes to deteriorate. This will become an area where rain can enter. So have a look around your property, have a look at your window seals and just see, what they're like. So if it's a mastic seal, sometimes over time they can shrink. So what we call weathered. So when you look at them, there'll be a crack or a line down side of them where they've pulled away from masonry or stonework. Stonework tends to be a bit worse. So if that's been masticed, then, and if your stonework's been spalled, which means water's affected it, then turned to ice, expanded and blown face off. So just have a look for gaps down there and downside your doors. Number 8, garden areas. Vegetation that has thrived in the summer months should now be checked and cut back to prevent it causing water penetration of external walls and growth into weak pointing. Don't forget to attend storage water butts, as they can overfill, become blocked up with debris and excess water, and then soak the surrounding ground adjoining the house of the walls, causing localized internal dampness problems. So not only just water butts, because a lot of people, you see gardens and that, and they've got these water butts against property where you've got like a downpipe, and this is going into a barrel, so they can get it for the, to put on the gardens. But what tends to happen is in winter it rains, so they don't empty these water barrels or butts, so they fill up, and that water is, because it's next to, because your barrel is against your wall of your property, that'll overflow and it'll be running down walls, so it can cause issues inside. Number 9, drains. Make sure gullies and drainage points are clear of leaves and other debris, so that rainwater can drain away from the building quickly. particularly during heavy downpours. So yeah, there's a few guys from PCA who are on LinkedIn, and they do a lot of. They'll go to a lot of properties where ordinary damp proofing people, even qualified ordinary damp proofing people, even ordinary damp proofing people that's qualified from the PCA. So when they've been to a property and they're still having issues, and they've not checked the drains and gutters, so they've got automatic cameras, and they've got little robots and stuff that go in subfloors and things like that. And what they'll do is they'll put these cameras up drains, and they'll check for if drains block. So if it's block and it's a side of a house, that drain will empty into the ground and cause that ground to be wet through all the way around property, or majority around property. So these guys will do like what's called a drain investigation. And number 10, drives and paths. Surface water must drain away from a building quickly, particularly during heavy downpours. So check and clear away any build-up of leaves on drives and paths. So have a look. There's a lot of drives and paths have got eco drains near properties and things. And one of the things with an eco drain, if it's not been fitted properly, then when water runs into it, water will be allowed to run through joints. So when you fit an eco drain, you're supposed to mastic these joints, so seal these joints, and then you seal where it's touching property, and then also put stop ends on if there's if there's an end. So if it stops there, you need an actual stop end on. You can't just leave it open and then put ground there, because what happens is that water will run, and then again it soaks ground. And if it's going through joints as well, it can soak into ground and go against side of your building. But make sure that these areas are not filled with leaves and debris and rubbish. So just take your metal bits up or your plastic bits up and clear them out, and make sure that that water's running freely. So they're just 10 tips that you, the householder, can use and make sure give yourself the best chance not having damp issues in your property, and not having to ring all dry damp proofing and get us out. So while I'm here, I might as well just say, if you have got any issues, we're normally last port of call. So if you've got any issues that other damp companies or other surveyors are scratching their heads, get in touch with me, Simon at alldrydampproofing.com, or Simon at damptimbersurveys.com, and we'll have a look at what the issues are and try and get them solved for you. So that's it. I think I'm going to wrap this up. It's been a quick one, just an half an hour one. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good rest of your day, and happy National Maintenance Week, which starts, I don't know if I said what date was. So National Maintenance Week starts on the 19th of November for 7 days. So and it's SPAB is the Society for the Protection of Ancient Buildings. So if you've got an old building, then make sure you pay attention to this. See you later.